realized the best way to do that was for it to be an AI character of Stu. It's a perfect way to do it without it being completely cheesy and unrealistic.
Okay, so we know where Nev Campbell stands on that issue. Dang. Alright, so a couple days ago I started seeing these little behind the scenes Scream 7 videos popping up on YouTube. I don't know if they've released an official behind the scenes video like with the movie, because I tried to look for it the other day and I couldn't find it. And I bought the movie on Amazon Prime, so I feel like I should have it. They have been releasing these little YouTube video behind the scenes stuff. So I thought it'd be fun to react to it and see how they did all this stuff for Scream 7. I really loved Scream 7. At this point I've seen it like honestly too many times to count. Like I've seen it a lot. It's a movie that keeps growing on me every time I watch it. Like I think there's so many good things to appreciate in this movie. I did really like a lot of the scenes and the deaths in this movie, so I'm guessing that that's what the behind the scenes would be about, and also I guess the characters. Yeah, just straight into it. Little fun video just reacting to these behind the scenes. I haven't seen any of them yet. I intentionally didn't watch them. But yeah, everyone continue to let me know what you thought of Scream 7 and what you think of these little behind the scenes moments that we're gonna get today. Okay, so we've got 5 that we're gonna watch today that I was able to find. Let's start with the birth of a final girl, because that sounds like a good place to start. I don't know exactly who they're talking about, because Sydney's final girl, but like she's been here a while.
I'm gonna talk you through it. Wait.
Okay.
I don't hear me.
So it's Tatum.
The most important part of that scene, I think, was that's the sort of the climax of the drama of their relationship, where Tatum is begging for help. So Sydney is going to teach her through the phone how to be Sydney Prescott.
I think they had such a good relationship in this movie. They did that really well.
You're gonna have to shoot him through the wall.
She's going to teach her how to be a warrior, how she's going to save herself. And it's really sort of frightening, but it's also a nice emotional climax for their relationship, because this is the moment where Tatum rises up and stands tall, and she holds that gun out and she fires it and she takes out Ghostface.
Teaching her, because like she's gonna die if she doesn't know.
This is the birth of a final girl, and we sort of watch this character of Tatum rise up and become her mother.
You okay?
Yeah.
I'm Sydney Prescott's daughter.
She's like, okay. I've been there. That wasn't really a behind the scenes, that was more of like an explanation of Kevin Williamson's thoughts about it. I think this was definitely the birth of the final girl. I don't think she really had a chance to do much or really find herself in Scream 7 because she was having to learn the ropes and kind of taking that from Sydney. I really think if they go into Scream 8, they need to pass all of that on to her and now go, okay, here was your learning curve. You got your mother to help you through this. Now you're on your own. I really think they need to go about that way. I really liked Tatum's character, but I know a lot of people struggled to connect with her because she was so in Sydney's shadow, which I think is fair. I think putting it as the birth of a final girl was definitely good because this is her seed, which is interesting because Sydney didn't really have a seed. She just like kind of had to go do it herself, but Tatum got the luxury of that, and luxury when everyone around her's dying. She lost everyone in this movie, so it was like actually really bad. At least Sydney got to have Randy for another movie. But anyway, yeah, I think that's interesting. Okay, let's go ahead and do the fun one. This is a behind the scenes of McKenna Grace's death, it looks like. I'm excited. I have seen a couple behind the scenes pictures back when they like had just released the movie, but I haven't seen this.
You know, one of the things that Nev and I spoke about early on was we want this movie to be scary and suspenseful and not gory. We were too many stabby stabs.
And go.
And not gory?
Of course, we both got into it and we went, well, you know, Wes was a little gory.
That's good. I'm like, this was like one of the goriest
She had to learn how to
ones.
fly and do the wire work, and then there was so much technical about, you know, the stabbings and the gutting, and there was a mix of prosthetics mixed with visual effects.
And then go ahead and flip this.
What the heck?
So they see the gray.
The thing that's
What the heck?
it's
What
a
was that?
juxtaposition between super pretty, kind of angelic, sparkly fairy makeup and death.
It sucks that she died in the fairy outfit.
Looks so cool and over the top and just everything that you want from a Scream movie. The special effects kind of work in tandem with VFX on this show, so we have built all the practical things, the innards,
I don't want to see the
the blood, and the different colors of blood, the different textures of blood, and then VFX will take it to the next level for us.
Oh, that kind of ended abruptly. I'm sure there's a longer version of this. I just don't know where it is. Someone tell me where it is, because I tried to watch it. Like, it said BTS and then it wouldn't let me watch it. So someone let me know why they're not letting me watch it. I feel like a lot of people get really worked up about like using practical versus like virtual effects. Like, people are really like,
use only practical effects, no CGI.
and it's like, if the CGI, like, if I can't tell, I took a visual effects class in college, but I'm like not well known on that subject. If I can't tell as a normal viewer, then I think it's fine. Frankly, like, I don't think it matters whether you do CGI or practical. Like, people get so upset, and I'm like, it's okay, calm down. I don't know, I feel like people work themselves up about it and think that that's what they're supposed to say, but frankly, I don't really care as long as it looks good. And I thought a lot of the stuff in this movie looked really good. I've heard a lot of people make fun of Lucas's death, but I actually think that one was one of the standout moments of this movie. I think it looked pretty good too, but obviously this one looked good. And them talking about like the different textures of blood and stuff. Ew. I do actually have some experience in like blood makeup. I've done it quite a few times for videos on this channel, but not to that extent. I guess I do have like different kinds of blood where like you'll have like, this is gross, the runny blood and then like the stuck together blood. That's disgusting. But anyway, so I don't know what that was of them comparing that thing. She was holding up something, and I guess they were looking at the shadows or something. But I love seeing like little behind the scenes clips. That's really fun. There's one, meet Tatum Evans. I love Tatum. Okay, let's do that one.
The thing that makes this movie so special for me is that Neve Campbell has come back in a big way. In part 5, she was part of someone else's story. And I think in this movie, it's really about Sidney Prescott. And I thought
it is. She's the main character.
If she had a daughter that was exactly the same age as she was when this all started back in 1996, and by keeping the past from her daughter, she's made her daughter vulnerable to what could come knocking.
Working with Neve Campbell was definitely a bucket list sort of.
The highlight of your life, hun.
But also just a sweet, lovely human being.
Do you love that I actually called 911?
I did.
That I actually did it? What?
Yeah, working with Isabel's been amazing. She's
I think that's not good.
really fun to have her character introduced into the film and have Sydney have this incredible relationship
Yeah, I loved it.
with her daughter.
Isabel May is such a terrific actress. And when we were casting Tatum, I wanted someone that rich, that had that emotional life that just sort of like leaped out of her.
I don't think they look very similar though.
So much heaviness,
sometimes that
so much seriousness. She was very much Sidney Prescott's daughter.
They definitely have a similarity in like how serious they take things. Like Sydney definitely did that a lot in the old movie, and Tatum I feel like was always so serious. I like that he admits that Sydney was the main character of this movie. So it's weird because Ghostface was like going after Tatum and going after Tatum's circle, but Sydney was the driving force of like the plot. Because at this point like Ghostface can't go after Sydney because no one's scared that she's gonna die. That's why I really think that they should make Tatum the main character in the next one and have Neve Campbell kind of be that supporting role, because Sydney doesn't need to fight Ghostface anymore. Like, Ghostface is an idiot if he attacks her. So Tatum isn't as smart. Tatum isn't as good at what she does. So that would be a better target. Yeah, but I did love their relationship. I honestly think that was maybe the #1 thing they did right with this movie. Not this being called Sisterhood of the Shared Trauma. And it's Gail and Sydney. Sounds about right.
Are you okay?
Well, Neve and Courtney Cox are obviously kind of infamous sort of figures. They've been doing this for a very long time.
You're bleeding.
We've seen them grow up.
Your point.
I can't believe Gail made it this far.
You're kind of bringing, it's a bit nostalgic. You're bringing the past back in a way.
Sorry.
In a way.
Laughing at Courtney. Fallbrook Psychiatric Hospital. It's a couple hours away. We'll start there.
Gail and Sydney are always these, like, dynamic duo.
To reunite with Courtney again, we love working with each other. We were
She's
saying the
such a
other day, we
sweet
can't
mom.
believe
It's
it's been 30 years. It's just so crazy. The dynamic between the two has always been a lot of fun, their love-hate relationship.
You gonna play nice? Of course not.
I've been waiting for this interview for 30
They
years.
would have never become friends without this.
In this one, although now they're more bonded as older women who've journeyed through a lot together. It's been lovely to see Courtney bring another level of humanity to Gail through what Gail's experience was with Dewey.
What if I had asked you about Dewey on live TV? What would you say?
Well, I'd say I'm fine. Because that's what I tell myself 500 times.
That is so sad. Yeah, you gotta move on. Like, she can't.
Yeah, there's just extra layers,
She can't
which
just
is
sit
lovely.
there and do
It's very
nothing for the rest of her
important to
life.
Courtney that Gail stay Gail. We don't want to soften her too much.
You need to get out of my face.
You know, I do think, though, that her relationship with Sydney is a very important factor in this film. And they have a sister.
Sydney's relationship with everyone is like all that this movie was about.
Understand the horror of Woodsboro like no one else, and their connection with Dewey is sort of what unites them, and I think it always will.
Yeah, but he's dead, so good job. I really think that the Scream makers are regretting killing Dewey. It's just everything they do and say sounds like it was a mistake. And I understand that's like what Scream movies do. They kill off the big characters for like, shock or whatever, like Casey Becker or Randy or whatever. But still, I didn't want to see Dewey die. I loved the scene in this movie where like Sydney tells Gail that she trusts her. I love that. That's like the first time Sydney actually admits they're friends, I'm pretty sure. Like they had their little moment in Scream 5 where they were doing everything together, but yeah, I feel like Sydney finally acknowledges her relationship with Gail in this movie because it always does feel like she kind of felt like she was only friends with Gail because of Dewey, and now that Dewey's gone. So maybe I guess that's a good thing about Dewey being dead, but not much. All right, one more, and it's the heavy hitter. It's called Stu Macher is Back. BTS featuring Matthew Lillard. So we know he's funny.
Because Stu is my favorite character in the entire franchise after Dewey.
So don't care. I don't give a
And I performance in the original Scream so much. It's just such an iconic performance.
Yeah,
that
I'm
I
glad
was
they
just
were
over
able
the
to
moon
bring
be
him
able to
back.
write dialogue for Stu Macher and get to see Matthew perform it. That was just...
I loved the dialogue for Stu.
What's your favorite scene in the original that takes place in this room?
I'm feeling a little woozy. That's my favorite scene.
Line. I'm feeling woozy, yeah.
Ooh, I don't know. What's mine?
For the part, I went back and watched the original movie, and there's definitely moments in that movie that are a little mortifying.
Stu Macher is back. Audiences have been begging for that for 30 years, so, they're going to be...
They did answer.
It's been challenging to
answer
figure out
the
how do we get
request.
Matt back, because we've always wanted to, and we realized the best way to do that was for it to be an AI character of Stu, which makes sense. It's a perfect way to do it without it being completely cheesy and unrealistic.
Okay. Dang. So we know where Nev Campbell stands on that issue. Dang. Wow, I can't believe she said that. Ooh. Well, I think for the Stu Macher believers, unfortunately, that's not a good sign, because if Nev Campbell doesn't want Stu to return as a real killer, I don't think that's gonna happen. Wow, I actually didn't know that that was her opinion on it, but I don't think Stu's ever gonna come back. I think that Scream 7 was for the Stu believers, and I don't think Matthew Lillard's gonna return for another movie. It's definitely not with that opinion. Nev Campbell has a lot of choice on these movies, so... Ooh. It is funny for her to say that, because they did have her long lost brother be the overarching killer of the third movie, which I feel like could equally be seen as cheesy and unrealistic. There's also quite a few things in this franchise that are cheesy and unrealistic. It is interesting to see her kind of pick this one as oh, that's not allowed. I personally think how they brought back Stu was okay. When I first saw it, I thought it was kind of derpy, but as I've watched it, honestly, I laugh every time he comes on screen. He got to be back in the movie, which is really what I feel like fans wanted, was just to see Matthew Lillard. I know a lot of people really wanted him to be alive, but I don't think just because they don't show that in the movie, you have to give up on that. You can still think he's alive, and they never confirm that in the series, which they're not going to do if that's what she believes on this subject. Her even saying this is what fans have been asking for 30 years shows that them bringing Stu for this movie as the AI thing was them answering all those fans. That was their response to it, and maybe you didn't like it, but they tried. They tried to make everyone happy. But anyway, that was fun. I was surprised by some of the things I heard and saw. I wish it had been more like actual BTS. These were not BTS videos. Yeah, I hope there's like a long version of this BTS video. I'm sure there is. This looks like little clips of a longer version, but I haven't been able to find that. And once I do, maybe I'll react to the full thing. I love behind the scenes stuff. One of my favorite things is Scream 4. If you have the DVD, there's a version you can watch with Wes Craven's commentary and Emma Roberts and Hayden Panettiere. I love watching that. I've seen that so many times. It's so much fun to hear him talk about his movie that he's created. Especially as someone who likes to create videos, I love hearing other people commentate on like their stuff. But anyway, that's all for today. Goodbye.